Hello, it's Bill, the knee pain guru. Welcome to the call today. Today we're going to go over the three key steps to understanding and relieving osteoarthritis. There's a lot of people that have osteoarthritis. The Arthritis Foundation says that by the time a person is 80 years old, they have a 50% chance of experiencing osteoarthritis. So this is going to be a really good one we're going to cover today. We'll be answering questions in just a few minutes. So if you have those, please enter those in the comments section and I will address those after this short presentation. Make sure to like the video, give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notifications. I do these videos twice per week, one on Mondays and one on Thursdays about different topics, pain, knee pain, things such as that. And if you ask a good question, I like new subjects and topics to talk about. So please enter those in the comments section there, and I'll address those today and possibly use them as a subject for a future video. Okay, three key steps to understanding and relieving osteoarthritis pain. The first one, all diagnosis of arthritis across the board is dehydrated joint. You can ask your doctor, you can ask your physical therapist on this. All diagnosis of arthritis is dehydrated joint, which means the joint has lost its lubrication, its ability. Water is in effect a lubricant in the joint that allows the joint to move smoothly. Now, I specifically address, when I look at, my whole focus is around knees. And when a knee has arthritis, it's stiff, it's achy, it's difficult to bend, it's difficult to straighten, difficult to move. So there's an achiness, a pain, a stiffness in the joint, and most likely it's diagnosis arthritis. What's happening is the joint has lost its lubrication. And there's a couple of factors that go into that to contribute to the joint becoming dehydrated. But first and foremost, in understanding that the joint is dehydrated, there's a couple. When I first found this out, it was kind of like, oh, wow, that's kind of a game changer. That if we're talking about a lack of fluid in the body and in a specific joint, now we can start addressing what's going on in the body and start to set up the conditions to begin to relieve what's going on in the joint, which is kind of cool. So first step, understanding and relieving osteoarthritic pain. All diagnosis of arthritis is dehydrated joint. Just a great deal of fear and frustration out of the equation. The second, the joint must first be relaxed in order for the body to be able to rehydrate the joint. Think of it like a sponge that's sitting next to your sink. And that sponge has been sitting there a while. And it gets dried out. And it gets very stiff and brittle. And it'd be a heck of a lot easier to take that stiff, brittle sponge and tear it than it would be if that sponge had water in it. So if you're looking at torn meniscus, torn ligaments or tendons in a joint, it happens because the joint becomes stiff and brittle because it doesn't have the lubrication. But in order to get the lubrication inside the joint, because picture it, the joint is squeezing with my hand, joint tight together. And this tension in the joint begins to move out the fluid. It squeezes out the fluid. You can think of it just like a sponge. If I squeeze that sponge in my hand, the fluid starts to run out of the sponge. Well, what happens when we relax the tension in that sponge? Watch the color of my hand. When I open it up, it turns white and then it goes back to pink. This is the very same thing that happens when we begin to relax the tension in the joint itself. We begin to relieve the pressure and create space, which allows the body to rehydrate the joint. Makes sense. You got a dehydrated joint. You got too much tension in the joint because of the pain, the stiffness, whatever is going on because of an injury, an accident, you just didn't drink enough water, whatever the case may be. So now we start relaxing the joint, and now the body has the opportunity to get the water into the joint, which leads us to the third step. Third step is, once we relieve the tension in the joint, now we got to increase our water intake. Now the body needs to rehydrate what we just created space for. So it doesn't make any sense to relax the tension in the joint and still continue to drink as much coffee and sugary drinks and energy drinks and things like that, which actually dehydrate the body. So now we're creating the space in the joint, we increase our water intake, and now the body takes that water that it didn't have before because it was dehydrated, and it can start sending it to the joint where it needs it to begin to lubricate the joint. Just that in and of itself, that's three-step component, begins to set up the conditions so the joint's lubricated. It's going to stop wearing. It's going to stop being so painful. You're going to start relieving what's going on in the knee. Now, I want to address step 2 again. I forgot about this. In order to relax the tension in the joint, it's not just like leaving it and not doing anything. The joint has intrinsic movement, meaning there's gross motor movement of the knee, which the knee extends and bends, which every doctor and physical therapist will talk about. The knee extends and bends. But what they aren't talking about is this small, subtle intrinsic movement of the joint. This is where the nerves in the knee joint begin to get squeezed. And when that squeezing takes place, it begins to make the joint stiff and painful and tight. And that's what begins to squeeze out the lubrication in the joint. I'm going to put a link to a video. It's actually a 7-day challenge that I offer that begins to teach you how to get the pressure off of the nerves, relax the tension in the joint, and create that space that you're looking for, the relief that you're looking for. So when you are drinking water, it's actually able to get into the joint. On another side note, you hear a lot of information about injections in the knee, hyaluronic acid, rooster comb, PRP, cortisone. All of that is designed to do what the body knows how to do on its own. They're trying to take a tight joint and they're trying to stick a needle into a tight joint to lubricate the joint in the hopes that it'll relax. Your body knows how to do it itself. So, okay. Thank you so much. We got some questions here. I appreciate that very much. Let's go over those 3 steps one more time. 3 steps to understanding and relieving osteoarthritis pain. All diagnosis of arthritis is dehydrated joint. Second, the joint must be relaxed first before it can begin to rehydrate the joint. That's number 2. And number 3, increase water intake in order for the body to be able to lubricate the joint, which means start to slack off on the coffee, the sugary drinks, and the energy drinks and stuff like that, which dehydrate the joint. So that is my 3 steps to understanding and relieving osteoarthritis pain. So thank you so much. We got some questions here from Jane. Hi, exercise, diet, how to strengthen wobbly after 2 deep tibial plateau fractures. Jane, do you like hyaluronic acid and eat hyaluronic acid and eat more oil? Jane, are you talking about hyaluronic acid as far as like an injection in the knee, or hyaluronic acid as an actual supplement, that type of thing? Please make a distinction with that. That's going to be different. Olive oil is really good. You just got to be careful on cooking with it. You don't want to cook it at high temperatures. Cooking it at high temperatures actually creates it where it could be a little bit difficult for the body to deal with. Hyaluronic acid, other than my body producing it, I'm not taking it. I have not taken it as a supplement. The big thing is getting the pressure off of the nerves, creating the comfort in the knee, and then setting up the conditions so the body is able to do it on its own. Strengthening a wobbly knee. Now, I have videos over on my YouTube channel about strengthening tendons and ligaments, because that's what holds the joint together. Or the ligaments hold the joint together. Ligaments are bone to bone, and tendons are muscle to bone. So it's going to make a difference as to what is going on, because when you have a tibia plateau fracture, you're talking about you have to see, is there pain involved with the wobbliness, or is it just wobbliness? And I would look at addressing the pain first before I would go at strengthening the joint. We want to strengthen the knee from a balanced place that's not in pain, first and foremost. If we strengthen a joint that's in pain, we just make a stronger, painful joint, if that makes sense. So I would look at creating comfort in the knee first, getting the knee to a place where it doesn't hurt, and then start increasing exercise to the point where you're staying in a range where it still continues to keep it comfortable. Okay. Dulcita. On my second knee replacement manipulation, I feel like I'm going back and my knee has been swollen and never bent properly, as I feel like I have a stiff leg surgery from October 26th, 2018. Yes, that is one of those situations that when you get a knee replacement, the doctors and the physical therapists are solely focusing on the knee, or from a conventional medical model, they're solely focusing on the knee. What I have found is there's a tremendous connection in the ability of the knee to bend, as there's a connection between the knee's ability to extend and bend with that of the tension in the hips and lower back. You begin to relax the tension in the hips and the lower back, and it frees up the range of motion in the knee. All around that same concept I'm talking about in step 2 of this 3-step piece on relieving osteoarthritis pain. Head over to my website, take my 7-day knee pain reduction challenge, and it begins to work with that. Doesn't matter if you have a knee replacement or not. I've worked with clients anywhere from bone-on-bone, osteoarthritis, knee replacement surgery, and if you're focusing on comfort, the joint begins to relax and the range of motion begins to increase. So we do that. And then I have, if you want to work with the hips and lower back, I have other programs that work with the entire body. So we look at everything that's going from the toes all the way to the top of the head that are contributing to what's going on in the knee. And in order to get you back to a place where you fully feel comfortable in your body, comfortable in your movement, we have to look at more than just the knee. The knee is too narrow in scope in terms of getting to a place where your body can truly heal itself. Okay. Jane says the hyaluronic acid is found naturally in olive oil as a supplement. Cool. I did not know that. Thank you. Let's see. Yes, please suggest supplements to lubricate the joints as my medial meniscus is removed. This is Sarvjit. Excuse me if I mispronounce that. The big thing, the body does it on its own. If we create the space for it to do so, if we relax the tension in the joint, the supplements, if you get on the other side of relaxing the tension in the joint and increasing water intake and making sure your body's able to absorb the water and the knee still isn't lubricating, then you could look at supplements. But we kind of have to take the first step before we start going several steps down the road. There's a lot of people that pay a lot of money for injections and supplements and all sorts of the latest, greatest stuff like down the road here, but they're not setting up the conditions so that we utilize those things. I've worked with people that have spent a ridiculous amount of money on stem cell injections, cortisone injections, rooster comb injections, hyaluronic acid injections, PRP injections. And those are good in their own respect. But if we haven't, structure governs function. It's the tenets of osteopathy. So if you don't have a structure that that's allowing for the knee joint to heal itself, no matter what you do on this other end, you still don't have the structure that's going to support anything you're doing over here. So we need to get the knee comfortable first. The nerves, the pain that you feel in the knee is the messages from your body saying something's going on. Something needs to be looked at, stressed. And unfortunately, most of the solutions out there is about numbing that pain and not understanding what's going on in the joint to set up the conditions so the body can heal itself. However, Jane is offering that hyaluronic acid is found in olive oil. So try that if you'd like to do it that way. Okay. Most wobbly and pain, slight inside the knee unless overworked. Jane, like the big thing is getting that slight pain out of the knee. And then where does the pain present itself in the knee when it's overworked? And then begin to create comfort in those areas of the knee. Because if pain is created in the knee when you start overworking it, if you start to exercise to strengthen the knee, you're going to have the same kind of pain. So you're reinforcing a dysfunctional tension pattern that's going on in the knee joint. So what I would do, head over and take my 7-day challenge, begin to get relief in the knee. If the pain moves or shifts in different part of the knee, well, I have other things that we can work with it on the other side of that first place of comfort. And then once we get your knee that you can address that slight pain on the inside of the knee, and then address it, you develop the skill of getting the knee out of pain when it's being overworked, then we can start strengthening the knee joint at that point to specifically for strengthening the tendons and ligaments, not the muscles. Notice I'm saying tendons and ligaments. It's a different animal than sets and reps, strengthening the quads, the calves, the hamstrings, doing leg raises and leg curls. Different. So it's a specific order of things in order to get you the results you're looking for. Okay, let's see. Ron, I can walk fine. I only have issues with running and going up and down steps. Do I need to rest for a month? Ron, I mean, that's a conventional thinking, is rest for a month. But think of your body. Think of what's going on in your body like a car that got into an accident. The frame's crooked. What is being suggested here, rest for a month, is like taking the crooked car, put it in the garage for a month, and then let's take it out in a month and see if the car has straightened itself out. Odds are it's not going to happen. We gotta take it to a body shop in order to straighten out the frame so the car doesn't drive off kilter. So it's not just a function of resting, although resting is important in the respect that we're not creating more pain when we're doing it. But while we're kind of laying low for a little bit of time, we need to develop the skill on how to get the knee out of pain, working with the intrinsic movement of the joint to allow the body to rewire and reorganize itself around that position of comfort. So then when we pull the car out of the garage in a month and start testing it again, we're not going back into the things that we were trying right before we started resting it. We want to gently or gradually ramp up your activity level while building your confidence to get your knee out of pain in the process, if it even presents itself. So it's a systematic approach that's not just like rest it and then jump back into life as if it was a month ago before we started resting it. So it's a different mentality. We have to look deeper. Einstein said, if we have a problem, we can't solve the problem at the level the problem was created. We have to come up above it and then address the problem from a higher perspective, a higher level, in order to address it so there's permanent change that takes place. Okay, if you have questions, please ask them over on the side. At least I'm hoping it's on this side when I point. When you say relax the muscle, I'm not talking about relaxing the muscle. I'm talking about creating comfort in all of the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, the bones, the fluid, the fascia. Everything in your body gets its commands from the nervous system, the brain that's connected to the network of nerves that goes down your spinal column that goes out to the rest of your body. Your experience of pain, heat, cold, comfort, pleasure, all of that is determined by your experience of your nervous system. When your body experiences an injury, an accident, a trauma, some sort of pain, surgery, whatever that is, your body tenses up to protect itself. That neurology tells your knee, the muscle in your knee, the tendons, the ligaments, the bones, to tighten up to protect itself from the threat that your body has experienced. And what I'm talking about specifically in terms of relaxing the tension, our nervous system, which fires at 286 miles per hour, can begin reorganizing around that comfort and begin to integrate that change on a sustained and long-lasting level. Apples and oranges. You don't just relax the muscle. The muscle is part of it, but it's a bigger picture. It's a broader perspective of what's going on in your knee or in your body. Hopefully that helps. My dad would always say, you ask him ask him what time it is, he tells you how to build a watch. And I do it not as like, okay, to overwhelm you with this. It's to understand the larger perspective that what I'm talking about has a bigger understanding of the body built into it. It's just not saying, oh, create comfort in the knee and then everything will be great. It's a start. It's the first step. It's the first move in a game of chess. And if you just stop with that first move, you have no idea how the game's going to play out. And anything could happen. And most people make that first move, either taking the 7-day challenge or trying some exercises or taking a supplement, and they have no reference point of how it works into the larger strategy to get themselves out of pain. So what ends up happening is they stop, they quit, they make a first move, they may make a second move, and then they're like, it didn't work, and then they go back to the drawing board. So they're always starting over. It's like a hamster on a wheel. It's a definition of insanity. So we have to plug this concept of comfort into the larger perspective of what's going on in your knee and in your body that's creating the knee. Because the knee is just the weakest link in the series of tension from your head all the way down to your feet. Okay. Any more questions? There's a few more people on here. If you have questions, please ask them. Got any question? Nope. No more questions. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel, The Knee Pain Guru. Turn on notifications to be aware of new videos that I have. I do 2 of these a week, one on Monday, one on Thursday, on specific topics that are interesting that people would find valuable. So if you have something you would like to hear or address or a question you would like spoken about or a topic on, please enter those in the comments section. I read all of them, and I use them on future videos. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, give the video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications. I will be doing the next video in a couple of days. Where do I start? I'm unable to squat anymore or run. Where do I start? Head over to my website. Mark Stefanelli. Mark, I'm Italian, so when I see all those vowels. Okay, head over to my website. Take my 7-day knee pain reduction challenge. That's a place to start. Understand, it's only the first step. It's a sample platter, like the cheese. You go to the grocery store. It's got a platter of cheese. Try one of them with the toothpick and see if you like it. If you like it, I got way more. It doesn't matter if you've had a knee replacement. It doesn't matter if you're bone on bone. It doesn't matter if you have osteoarthritis. It doesn't matter how long you've been in pain, how many surgeries you've had, what happened to your knee. If we focus on comfort, the body begins to reorganize around that comfort. And we get out of the way. When we get out of the way, the body takes over. When the body is not healing, there's blocks in the way. There's something preventing it from doing so. What do I know about collagen supplements? It's good for the joints. That's what I've heard. But also is making chicken soup from bones. So however you want to address it. Squats hurt. Belling, okay. Relax the tension. Squats won't hurt as much. We start addressing what's going on in your hips and lower back. Squats will continue to hurt less. We look at the rotation in the bone in your upper leg and the bones in your lower leg and the effects of the hips and lower back. Squats get easier and easier. It's like, this is like, I know, like one of the biggest things that I hear is, oh, your approach is too simple. Okay, well, there's plenty of complicated stuff out there. And you can go do the complicated stuff if you want. Most people are banging their head against the wall with the complicated stuff. Wait, here you go. Einstein. If you can't explain it simply enough, you don't understand it well enough. Simply, you don't understand it well enough. And that's what it is. Knee pain is not rocket science. We create clay, let the body take over and do what it knows how to do. It knows how to reorganize around that comfort. And what we're doing right now is we're creating pain, and the body is reorganizing around pain. The nervous system that fires at 286 miles per hour reorganizes around the pain. And you have a choice. You can continue creating pain and let the body reorganize around that, or you can start looking at comfort and let the body reorganize around that. It's neurological functioning. We can get and talk about the nervous system response, the sympathetic, parasympathetic response to pain, what happens in the body neurologically. And you could also look at the neurological response in the body when it reorganizes in a parasympathetic state or a comfortable state. It does the same thing. Your choice. Okay. I'm going to scoot. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the great questions. Thank you for participating in this discussion today. Hopefully that helps someone. Once again, give the video a thumbs up. Like and subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notifications so you're notified of future videos, so you become aware of future videos. And head over to my website, take the 7-day knee pain reduction challenge, and I'll teach you about my approach. Thank you so much. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.